J gang? It's your girl Alexis J, and I'm back with a whole nother mother trucking chocolate video. And as you see from the title, today's video is a mother trucking banger. And today I'm gonna be doing part 2 to my boot camp experience. But before we get into the video, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave some freaking comments down below. And make sure y'all click the bell to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified when I post. So let's get into it. So, part 2 to my boot camp story. And I read some of y'all comments from our last video, and Freedom Hall ain't no joke. I'm agreeing with you, because it wasn't. Let's start off. So the night of our last day of quarantine, we got the rev around like 4, because we had to be up around 9. And from like 9 anywhere to like 11, they gave us a brief where they talked to us and started getting us prepared for boot camp, y'all. So that night, once we started loading our buses, they talked to us again and they played the CO's top 6 video. No recruit to recruit contact. The rest of the CO's top 6. On this bus ride, it was long because we had to go from Wisconsin all the way back to Chicago. When we did arrive, it was like 4 something that morning, and they made us get our sea bags and run inside the building. They separate the males from the females. Once they had us separated, we had a petty out coming in and talk to the females, and he was telling us, y'all, boot camp not really all that bad. He told us that he did get held back during boot camp, but it was because of swim. But he was like his last 2 weeks of his boot camp that he didn't have to do nothing because he had did everything, and the only thing he was really waiting for was battle stations. Also, while we was just sitting there, they talking, couldn't really talk for real, so all we had to do was listen, and they made us sit down, crisscross applesauce. And then that's when another petty officer came in there and got us, and we actually started our next part to like end up. So they split us up. We had to do a urinalysis. They didn't draw blood, but they did. They started separating us and getting us ready to go to our division. So some of us got, a majority of us that left was a part of 220. So we went into our ship and we just had to put our stuff next to a rack, and we didn't unpack. So that's when I believe we went to Chow. Came back to there, and you know, in a galley you can't talk. So when y'all go to boot camp, don't talk in a galley. It's the reason. They'll tell you. I'm not gonna tell you, or am I might tell you the things that you need to know for boot camp. Then I'll tell y'all. Anyways, make sure y'all stay tuned for that video then. But after we got done eating in the galley, we came back to our compartment, and that's when we met our RDCs. Well, they introduced themselves, because we had look at Gucci in the back. Y'all see them. So after we the RDCs introduced themselves, we had other blue ropes come in that was learning, and that was under our RDCs. So after they introduced themselves, that's when they started yelling to my, get up, get to the tow line, get to the tow line. What get to the tow line means y'all better get to that line, okay? So once we got to the tow line, they was telling us how they finna put us in a height line. And the height line basically goes from shortest all the way to tallest. And you know, the shortest people is like in front of the division, like when we marching. But after we did our height line, they made us go stand next to our new rack. And once they finished that, so y'all, we got 1100, 1200, 1400, and 1300. 1100 section being the shortest of the division, and 1400 being the tallest. So when we walk into the compartment, it was 1400. Well, we walk into my compartment. So right here was 1400, 1100, 1300, 1200. Hold on. 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400. Anyway, so majority of times when my division went to Chow, we went by the height line, or either we'll reverse. So for Chow, we'll do 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400, or either we'll do 1400, 1300, 1200, and 1100. Also, during P days, first couple of days of P days, you'll be in Pearl Harbor, which is ship 1, and ship 1 is basically like NDOC, because you go to dental, you go to medical. You know, you get your shots, and the peanut butter shot, let me just put this out there. The peanut butter shot do not hurt. Don't let these other folks tell y'all that it hurt, because the peanut butter shot is not all that. The only thing is you just getting a shot in your butt, and then a couple of days later, it'll just have like a little knot on your butt, but it goes down. Also, during P days, you take your baseline. So I don't know if they still do it like this, but when I went, for my baseline, we had to run 1.5 miles, and we had to do push-ups, but we didn't have to do planks. But I think now how they do the baseline is, if you don't run it in the time or 2 minutes or either a minute within the time, you know, I think they make you instantly get into prep, but I don't think so. So it might not be like that, or either they just might go ahead and send you home. I forgot how they do it, but they changed it, so it's different from when I went, and they changed it within like weeks of me being there. So yeah. Also, with the regulation, it's constantly changing, so don't be surprised. That's why you see most people in the military, well, in the Navy, with a lot of tattoos, you know, black females with their hair, cornrows. Throwback to P days. So with P days, that's when you start getting fit for full, and also during P days is when your RDCs cannot ITE. So, because they ITE you about any and everything depending on who your RDCs are. But also, during week 1, that's when you actually start getting your ITE session. So, y'all get ITE for people not being to the toe line in time, everything. I'll go into more in detail. But also with week 1, you do a lot of classes like sexual harassment, classes about the material that you'll be learning for boot camp, warrior toughness, all of that. So week 2 of boot camp is when you basically learn like shipboard situations, stuff like you can really start learning stuff about marlin spike. Marlin spike is the big thing. Basic seamanship, how to tie a knot, but you start learning like places on the ship. So if you ever need to get some, or you need to know where you stay, you start learning like your compartment number, the different type of ships like a CVN, all that. Or you start learning about aircrafts. And also this is when you start going more so to the it's like when the working out starts picking up. So sometimes you'll work out in your compartment, or sometimes you will go to Freedom Hall to do like a run or do another workout there. So yeah, also while you in boot camp, you'll be doing like a lot of marching, walking, and drilling, especially around the base. Excuse me. So get used to that. Also around this time is when you take your first part of your academic test. So with the academic test, that's when you need to know like your rank and recognition. You need to know about honor, courage, and commitment, your core values. It's like so much more, so much stuff. And also it's a bonus to already know like some of your terms like a deck, galley, hydration tool, quarter deck, all of that. So that's a big thing. And you have to pass like the academic test, and if you don't pass your academic test, you get a retest and you'll have to do a lot of studying. But also if you don't pass again, during my time, they'll just push you back because you didn't retain the information properly. So they'll just push you back in boot camp. So during week 4 is when you start live fire, and baby, live fire is fun because this is also another time you start earning some of your awards like ribbons. I know you get marksmanship, expert, and those for like how you shoot. So during live fire, they teach you about the gun safety. They teach you about how to load and unload a gun. They teach you about the different parts of a gun, of course, because you need to know that. They teach you how to shoot a gun and what's the proper way you should align the gun when you aiming at the target. They teach you how to take it apart and put it back together. So yeah, and then of course they take you into the actual testing part of it where you shoot, and that's how whatever score you make is what you earn and how you will earn your ribbon. So yeah, and I believe that they got it fixed now, so you'll be able to do live fire and earn that ribbon. After live fire, that's when you start to take firefighting, and firefighting is also another interesting thing. But the rooms that you go for firefighting is like hot, smell like feet, it's cramped in there, it's not like a lot of space in their classrooms. So try not to go to sleep, and make sure you always have your hydration tool filled up, and just try not to go to sleep. But I mean, like, it's easy, but if you go to sleep now, they go pick on you. Don't do it. That's the only thing about boot camp. I was sleepy and sleep deprived. During firefighting, of course, they teach you about the extinguisher. That's also when they test your confidence, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, they test your confidence. I hope you're ready. But with testing your confidence, after that, you still will be in firefighting, of course. So that's when they take you to the other side, and that's when you start putting on the gear. And they time you with putting on the gear. You know, you got the 5-second, doing the chair thing, all that, starting your oxygen, turning your oxygen tank on. They also teach you about the different classes of fires and how to get them out. And they also take you through like something like a situation on a ship when it's like dark and you have to get a fire and you have to navigate through one another. And you know, when you go through the you have to yell step, so you know others won't trip. And the person that's like behind you won't trip, so you can let them know also. Firefighting, they teach you about the Z method and how you shouldn't do it like this, because if you do it like this, you go touch it. But if you do it like this, you know, you won't touch it because it's not as easy. After firefighting, that's when you also take your academic test 2, and it deals with firefighting. It deals with a lot of stuff, and it still has a little bit information about some of the stuff in test 1, just a little, not too much. But it has marksmanship, stuff about marlinspike, and also during this time is when you do marlinspike also, and that's a teamwork thing too. And with my division, we really didn't learn about teamwork and actually working with each other wasn't until like closer towards the end, because in my division we had like a lot of attitudes, and you know, in a division with different people from all around the world, you know, it's different personalities, different ways they was brought up. There's a lot of attitude, and we were females, y'all. It was just funny. It's time. It's starting to get closer towards your final PFA. And with the final PFA, that's really like the biggest thing that actually matters is the run, and actually making your run in the time. So, yeah, if you don't make your run in time, they push you back. And they'll probably send you back to a division that's like on 3 techs. So during this time, all the way up to like week 6, you know, you have learned how to march, you know how to make your rack in time, and how to be to the toe line in time. Also during this time, you have already went through all of your inspections. You know, you do an inspection on your racks and how you fold your clothes. You also do another inspection on how you wear your NWUs and how you wear your dress whites. So those are like major things, and once you get pushed back, you'll have to start all of that over while going to prep at night, and you only eat chow like a good 2 times a day. So with prep, they do it from like Monday through Friday. I know Mondays and Fridays they also they make you do like a sustained run. And on Tuesdays, they make you do, I believe, you do 3 laps 4 times, because in Freedom Hall, 1.5 miles is 12 laps around their track. Tips about running: stay relaxed like that when you're running. You know, everything is relaxed. Your arms flowing, you know, when you run, flow. And the more you expand your arms out while running and over exaggerate that running, the more you will like run. And also when you run, expand your legs. Don't run like this. Don't run like that. You know, open your legs. Run like that. Because the more you open up your legs while you run, the farther the distance you go. So that helps. And also while you run, breathe. Breathe in. Stay calm. Y'all, I got some embarrassing story times to tell you about my time in boot camp. So stay tuned for that video also. But with the run, the final PFA, you just got to make your time. I know for like 18 to 19, you have to run it in 14:45, and then 20 to 22, you have to do it 15:15, and the increments of time just goes up. But make sure y'all just stay focused and don't let nobody around you distract you from your goals, because you are the reason why you are in boot camp, not the person that's beside you, not your shipmate or anything. Don't listen to them. Make sure you find your own motivation and your own drive to help you while you're running, like your kid. You don't want to go back home because of the situation you may work in, or you know, at home. So this is a big thing, y'all. The exact same stuff that was going on while you were at home is still going on. So don't be in a rush to get back home. I know you'll be like ready to go home, all of that, and once you get home, you'll be like, dang, I should try my best with some all that. So keep that in mind. So while you're running, find your motivation and your drive, and you'll pass it. Duh. So yeah, y'all got this. So during like week 7, week 8, after you pass your final PFA, that's when you start getting the good like snack, like the sweets, like brownies, ice cream, cookies, all of that. So make sure y'all pass your final PFA, or if not, you'll either get pushed back or they'll send you back home. It's your choice. During week 7, week 8, that's when you start practicing more so for battle stations and graduation. Oh, Navy. So during week 7, week 8, you know, you start practicing for graduation, all that, yada yada yada, and battle stations. And with battle stations, so I'm not gonna give y'all too much, but battle stations is very easy. The only thing is you just gotta stay up and stay moving, and make sure y'all put in the work that y'all need to, because by this time you will have teamwork and work ethic, attention to detail, everything, so y'all can work right along the side with your shipmate. And by the time graduation comes, you'll be out of there. Depending on like when you have to go to A school or how available your A school is, either that following weekend of graduation, that's when you will leave and load up on the bus. Oh, also during this time you have like pizza night and all that. But yeah, you leave that weekend, either you'll take a bus to the airport or a bus to your A school if your A school is still in Chicago. So yeah, but you'll have your seat bag and you'll have all your supplies, and you'll definitely have your box and your phone. So yeah, but that was my boot camp experience. Stay tuned for my next couple of videos, because these will be about Navy boot camp. Also, I will give my embarrassing stories and what you need for boot camp and all that. So stay tuned, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave some comments down below. Bye y'all.
You like to put that shit in your nose, but I still love you. Be doing shit that nobody knows.